Have you been noticing more signs and synchronicities lately, or even coming to the point where you're beginning to see signs and synchronicities and thinking, what is going on here? What is this? Why am I seeing all these things repeating quite a lot of the time? Well, I've come to see on my journey that I'm not there to try to see what others are saying about signs and synchronicities, about where people say this means that and that means that about this sign, or these certain string of numbers say are meaning that. I've come to see that life is such a personal journey, and it is tailor-made for us. It is specifically for our journey, pinpointed to absolute precision. And when we see in these synchronicities and signs, and how they are tailor-made for us, how they are reflecting back to us exactly what we need to see at the time. And it's up to us to begin to decode these signs and synchronicities, and how we learn to decode them, because that's a tailor-made process as well, how we're actually decoding it for ourselves. There's no one set rule for anyone. There might be a general consensus on how things are working and playing out, but because it's so personal, because it's so tailor-made for us, that not one size fits all. There's no going on the internet and say you see a string of numbers, I don't know, like 444. You go on the internet and you read this description about what 444 means. I actually think that can be quite off-putting and take you away from your personal journey with it. I'm not saying it doesn't hold any value. It could begin to be a pointer for you in some direction, and that's great. We all need some pointers here and there. But to truly take our power back and stand in what we are and following our inner guidance, following ourselves, it's what it's reflecting back and how it's showing us. It's probably best to just see from ourselves what it means and how we are going to begin to decode it. And we're not going to decode it straight away. We're not going to just get it straight away, because it is a journey of discovery. It is a journey of remembering who we are, learning once again, getting rid of the beliefs and programs, and coming back to ourselves, stepping into our power, stepping into authenticity, stepping into our alignment of what we are. And then seeing how this is tailor-made for us in such a personal way. And then what we do is, as we see it's tailor-made for us, we can then start decoding it. What does those numbers mean for me? What does, say, a bird mean for me, or a butterfly mean for me, or a car going past? What does this person coming into my life at this particular moment mean for me? How does the sign on the lorry when it goes past say something? The words, the song that may come on the radio, the song may just pop up here and there. You might hear someone talking about something in a conversation. You're like, I was just thinking about that. And these synchronicities and these reflections are showing us like what we're thinking about. It's showing us our beliefs, it's showing us where we're at, and it's guiding us all the time. And the more we see them and the more this unfolds along our journey, it builds a sense of confidence and a sense of strength once again, because many of us feel very, very lost on this journey. And when we start noticing these things, it does give a positive upliftment. And along with that, yeah, there might be some confusion at the start of what it all means and what it's all about. But if we turn that confusion around to one of excitement of, okay, show me more. Show me what this is and how this is playing out for me. And you can start to have fun with it once again. Because, like I've said in many videos, we take it so seriously, and there's no reason to keep taking this seriously. I'm sure we didn't come here to take it all seriously, to be all doom and gloomy and have these low vibrations and these low frequencies. And sure, those low vibrations and frequencies are a contrast to what we want. A contrast to show us that we are not thinking high quality vibrational thoughts. We are not in alignment, and that's great in itself, how it's reflected back to us, that contrast. But we didn't come here to just suffer and struggle and have all those negative things. On the contrary, I really do feel that we come here to live a very high vibrational life, to experience the things that we really desire in our hearts, to follow our hearts fearlessly with courage, and to go out again once into the world, however that is for you, and show up and say, do you know what? Here I am. I'm doing this, however that is. And you don't have to come to exotic locations to do that. You can do that from wherever you are on your journey. And as it unfolds, you will be led to do the things that are in your heart and in your desire as these old patterns and old stories and old beliefs and programs fade away, fall away. As you question them and you look at them and say, no, that's not me. I'm not that limiting belief, because it's the limiting beliefs that are holding us back. It's the limiting beliefs and the programs that are keeping us stuck in these. I'll use the metaphor that I pretty much always use. I'm not worthy. I am not good enough, because they're mainly at the core of all beliefs coming from that. And that's just ridiculous. If you actually look at it for what it really is, that's just ridiculous. Because in this unfoldment of the synchronicities and signs being reflected back to us, we can see that actually the reality is not solid. It is fluid, it is changeable. And it's changeable because you're changing inside. It's changing because you're awakening, you're becoming more aware of it. When we was quite sleepy and we was going about our business, not noticing these things, when we was running a low vibration and low frequencies all the time, you might notice some and you pull it down to what called is coincidence, and you just brush it off. As you awaken more and more on this journey and you're starting to see those things play out even more, you're like, there is something to this, something deeper, and it is really deep in itself. The deepness of life is once again reflecting back to you such an intrinsic, beautiful deepness of what we truly are. The spirit itself is such a deep, beautiful being, and it's not this just shallow thing that we've been led to believe we are. You know, we was born on this earth in circumstances that were just random, and it was just this evolution that was just random in itself. It's not random. This was all made for us. This was a very, very deep journey to reflect back to us what we truly are. And as these signs and synchronicities keep being reflected back to us, as we notice them even more, that deepness and the aliveness of life comes through once again. We begin to enjoy life again. We begin to see the excitement of it once again. We see, say, I'll use like a string of numbers for an example again. We see this repeating and repeating and repeating. And as we start coming out of the, what does this mean? And you might have been down the internet though, looking about all these situations and what does this number mean for me? And how does this, how's this going? And you're getting some information, and you might find that actually what other people are saying, what their opinions are about, say, a string of numbers being repeated back to you, is not quite for me. It's not quite ringing true. And it doesn't ring true because it's so tailor-made for your journey. It's so personal, this unfoldment. And it's so intrinsically made for you because you're so unique. So because you're so unique in your expression, your signs and synchronicities are going to be so unique for you. And so, yeah, there will be a commonality about seeing numbers, say. I mean, it could be anything, but we'll just use numbers in it as an example. Because there is a commonality about numbers, and people on the awakening journey and becoming more aware, and as this life thing is expanding upon itself, people then are sharing this. Are you seeing this number? Are you seeing that number? Are you seeing this? Are you seeing that? And a lot of people get confused and lost in the commonality of it, because they're forgetting that it is so truly unique for you. And when you see it so truly unique for you, then you know it's very, very special. And we're all so special. We're all such special beings in that way, that knowing that, you know what, yeah, this is tailor-made for my particular journey. And it is being reflected back to me so beautifully. And it can be reflected back to you in so many different ways. And a lot of good ways of it being reflected back to us is through nature. You know, I mean, you can just spend 5 minutes out in nature just listening and watching. Something happens. Something will show you. A bird may sing at just the moment you're thinking of something. You might hear a sound, or you might see something just as you're maybe believing something about you, positive or negative. And it's just reminding you again, bring yourself back to this moment, take a breath and question, what was I just thinking as I saw that? Or just before I see this or that, what was going on inside? And just take a moment, just a short moment, to question what that was. And ask your inner self, ask your inner being, ask the inner self, the spirit, whatever words you use for that, what is that showing me? And sure, you might not even get one answer at the start, but if you keep going and you keep prompting, I want to know what this is, please show me, in the consistency of asking and then being open to receive that, you will then see more and more of these unfold. And at some level, it gets to the point where you're seeing so many of them, you start laughing and you start having fun again with life. You're like, hang on, this is fun, this is joyful. And it's helping you have that positive feedback loop once again. It's helping you step into that high quality vibrational being that we are. Our natural essence is so high frequency, it's showing you, it's prompting you, it's helping you. All of life is helping you on some level, even if it's showing you that contrast. Even if it's giving you those sensations in the body that you're saying, I don't want these sensations, I don't want these emotions. It's then showing you, what do you want? What is it you want to experience internally? What is it you want to see in your imagination? What is it you want to experience on the external realm? What is it you want to achieve? What is it you want to go forward with? And it's developing that internally, using our imagination again, firing up our imagination, firing up these good feelings once again, that develops that intuition, and that then creates another positive feedback loop. Because when you're following your intuition and you're seeing it fed back to you, and you're like, I'm watching this, I'm seeing this unfold for me, the sense of that, I am being guided. I am trusting this more. I am trusting this journey just that little bit more. And that's all it takes. Just a little bit every day. You know, we're not jumping in wanting all the big fireworks. We're not jumping in going, I want it all now. Because it's a journey of discovery. And if you was to, say, be able to manifest exactly what you wanted there and then, the journey of discovery would be boring. It wouldn't be the journey. You'd be like, oh, I can manifest that, then I'll manifest that, then I'll do that, then this. It's an unfoldment once again. And yeah, many of us are impatient. I am a very impatient person. But it's being taught to you, being shown to you. Do this gently, let it unfold. Watch the signs, watch the synchronicities come back to you. Watch the play of life, the flow of life. Watch it, feel it, watch what it's showing you. And just sit with yourself very quietly, every now and again, and just for 1 minute. And I know I've said this on many videos before, you know, just 1 minute. And it is like that. We don't have to sit there for hours and hours in meditation, asking these questions, trying to calm ourselves down, trying to be enlightened if you want. we can just take a little bit of time for ourselves and say, what was that sign showing me? How is this being reflected back to me? And build upon it. Build upon these reflections. Build upon how it's showing you. Just slowly and gently. And as it comes back to you, like I said, there's a positive feedback loop that happens. And that increases that trust and that confidence going forward. So as we go forward on this journey, and we're watching all of this happen for us, people coming into our life at just the right moment, being guided to be somewhere just at the right moment, just to watch that go past or hear that or do that. The sense of life, vitality comes back to us. The energy rises in us once again. And once we've got that vitality starting to rise again and that energy rises again, that builds even more confidence, because it's a lack of energy and fatigue a lot of the time with us, where we don't want to do stuff and we want to do things, but we're not inspired to take that action, or we keep pulling it off. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not quite feeling right at the moment. I'll do it later. What happens is, as we just watch life unfold for us, and as we just watch that with no effort, we don't have to have any effort to watch these signs, synchronicities and things coming back to us. We're building that momentum, we're building that energy again, we're building that vitality again to reveal to us that we're not actually building anything. It was always there. The high frequency, high quality thoughts were always there. It be revealed to us that our natural high vibration was always there all along, and it's just being shown to us in little stages, and we have to take each step at a time. And at the start, if it's the start of this journey for you and you're just beginning to see these synchronicities and all these signs, it is baby steps at the start, and that might a little be frustrating in itself to hear that I want to make leaps and bounds. But like learning to drive a car, we didn't just jump in the car and be the greatest driver in the world. We had to take steps. We had to take it slowly. We had to build confidence. We had to build strategies and learn everything. We had to learn about how we was driving, about how other people interact with us. And it was a slow process. Sure, other people pick it up a little bit quicker, other people a little bit slower. And that's fine too. Accepting where we are in the journey, accepting that, yeah, we do have our own ways about us, we do have our own talents and abilities, and we do have our strengths and we do have our weaknesses, and accepting our strengths and accepting our weaknesses along the journey, that sometimes our weaknesses can be our biggest strengths. Our weaknesses, in some ways, you can look at and say, okay, I've got this weakness, but I accept that, because I have these strengths, I have these other talents that I can use. And it's that contrast and that balance once again. We can't all be good at everything, because if we was good at everything, what would be the point again? What would be the point of unfolding this beautiful discovery that's going on for us, this remembrance of who we truly are? We have been living in this, with this blanket over us, this shrouded ignorance of what we are, and it's a coming back now. There's something amazing happening on this earth, in this realm, inside of us, because this earth doesn't really exist outside of us. It's just words. So please forgive me if I use these words. They just come out, and I don't want to keep correcting myself over them, because I've done that in the past. I tried to correct myself. Oh, we're on Earth. And then people pick me up when we're not actually on Earth, we're doing that. And I've noticed I pick myself up on it. It's a little weakness of mine. So I watch it in myself. And I have to say, hang on a minute, come back to that. It's just a word. Other people are going to hear the message, what's being said. Don't worry about it too much. Because in that worrying about it too much, we're lowering our frequency once again. We're having those thoughts of lack and limitation, and we will have that reflected back to us on some level in the manifestation. And also, many people get stuck on this I'm manifesting everything in this world, because what they'll actually think is, well, if I'm going to continue to think these negative thoughts, then I'm going to have that reflected back to me, and oh my God, I don't want to create that anymore, and they're getting themselves in a little bit of fluster, and then they get frightened about manifesting. They get frightened about, well, I'm going to keep manifesting these things, so I don't know what to do, so I'll go back and retreat again. I'm not going to do any of this manifesting lark. I'm not going to do this or do that. But knowing that you're manifesting naturally anyway. Everything is you manifesting. You're a manifesting machine. So when we relax into it and say, okay, I'm going to be manifesting anyway. And if I've been manifesting what I don't want, then I'll use that as the contrast to what I do want. And the more we relax into it, the more our system settles down, and the more we become whole, the more we calm ourselves down, the more that ideas come to us and that inspired action comes to us. The more we relax, we take our breath, we take things that little bit slower, then we have the confidence to know that our vibrational state will reflect back to us better reflections, better synchronicities, better signs for us to pick up on and go forward and say, oh, that's happening there and that's happening there. And like I said, that excitement comes back once again. This vibrancy of life happens again, like a child. That vibrancy of children. And I don't know if you're anything like me, and you see children running around, you're like, oh, I want that energy. I really wish I could have that energy again like a child. And you can. The more this vibration and high frequency and high quality thoughts are coming through us, the natural essence of us is coming back again. You do have more energy. You do have more vitality to engage with life, to go back out there and go, I'm doing this today and I'm doing that. And it's not just hocus pocus talk. It's not just me coming on here and saying these words. I'm witness to it. I went through many long periods of time, many years of having low frequency, low vibrations, and I was tired and I was fatigued, and I was just in a state of not wanting to do anything and getting in lower states and lower depressions because I didn't have that vitality. But there was something in me driving me. There was something in us all that drives us to say, come on, time to have a look at stuff differently. You don't have to have the energy right now to go out and take action. What you can do is just start noticing. And if you are fatigued and you're tired with life at the moment, like we all get, like we all do, and that's okay, we can take inventory of that and say, what can I do? What can I do if I am a little bit fatigued and I'm tired from life at the moment? Well, you can start noticing these signs. You can start noticing these synchronicities. And you can start playing with that. That doesn't take no energy. That doesn't take no effort. And that doesn't take going at life and using willpower, because willpower's only got a finite energy behind it, and then wear yourself out again. Noticing these synchronicities and all these things being reflected back to us doesn't take any effort, and in that gives us confidence to once again enjoy life just by noticing, just by going about your business wherever that is. However you're doing that, you will see reflected back to you the magic of life once again.